Okay, good morning, boys and girls. So today what we're going to take a look at is we are going to actually start our Mystery Science Catching Rainbows lesson. But before we do that, I wanted to go over a quick review question. And our question is, how are rainbows actually made? In order to answer this, I want us to think back to our Mystery Science lesson or Mystery Science video. And in that video, Doug covered a few things. He went over the idea that there is some guy and some glass thing, and he basically put these two things together to create a rainbow. But this guy wasn't just anyone. He was a scientist named Isaac Newton, and that glass piece that he was holding up was a prism. Now, Isaac Newton came up with this experiment where he kind of covered up his entire room, made it completely dark, except for one little piece of light. And in that light, he held up the prism, where he discovered that the white light from the sun actually went through the prism and created the rainbow. So his discovery was that the sunlight is a mixture of all of the colors of the rainbow, and that prism is what allows that white light to be separated into the rainbow colors. So initially a lot of you probably thought, but wait a minute, there aren't little pieces of glass in the sky, but there is something that acts like that prism, which would be rain droplets, and that is why rainbows only come out when there is moisture or water in the air. So the sunlight, the white light from the sun, goes and reflects through the prisms, so through the water droplets, and then creates the rainbow that we see in the sky. Okay, so now that we kind of reviewed from last week or last class, we can go ahead and start our experiments now. So for this experiment, we are going to be creating our own rainbows using a prism that you probably have laying around the house. You only need a few materials for this project. And after we're done actually creating our rainbows, I will be asking you to kind of document what you see. I might ask you to experiment with a few different things, maybe trying a few different ways of holding your cup and whatnot, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Here are the materials that you need. All you'll need is a cup and some water. You might want some paper towels to help clean up because I definitely spilled a little bit when I was doing this, and you'll need a white piece of paper. Okay. So you'll want to find a sunny place next to a window. I'm using my balcony window. You can see my yoga mat and everything out there. And I have my material. So I have my water, I have my cup, and I have my napkin in case I spill. If you don't have a balcony window or anything like that, you can use a windowsill, which might be easier for some of you. And you might even want a stack of books nearby in case you don't want to hold your glass of water the entire time. The first step is to find a spot where you can move your cup so you can see your cup's shadow. If you don't see your cup's shadow, make sure you move it until you do. Then you can go ahead and fill up your cup of water if you haven't already, and watch for the wiggling lines of light. When you see those wiggling lines, that's where your rainbow should appear once those wiggling lines kind of settle. So now I'm going to go ahead and kind of experiment with where I see my rainbow. I'm going to hold my cup in different positions, maybe different angles, to see if I can make that rainbow appear a little bit brighter or a little bit bigger. And this is where the stack of books come in, because you might not want to be holding your glass the entire time. If you have a stack of books, you can sit them on there and you should be able to see a rainbow a little bit better. But there's my rainbow, and since I've found it, I am going to go ahead and grab my white piece of paper and experiment with putting the white piece of paper underneath the rainbow to see if I can make it appear a little bit brighter. So now at the end of this video, I'll ask you to kind of answer a few questions, write down your observations, try some more experiments, and then that'll be pretty much our project for the day. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Keep watching for those questions and extra experiments, and I can't wait to see some pictures. If you take pictures, please definitely send them to me. I would love to see your pictures. All right, I hope you guys have fun. Enjoy the sunlight.